If you're watching this and you're an individual that doesn't have a lot of finances, you have to stop looking at money like it's material, like it's something that's outside of you, and you have to look at money like it is you. Money is an extension of you. The more my vibration raises, the more my money goes up. The more my love expands, then the more my money expands. Money is an extension of me. Money loves me, and I love money as well. So understand it like this. People that say money is the root of all evil, no. Ignorance is the root of all evil. Say it with me, friend. Ignorance is the root of all evil. If you have a lot of money and you're ignorant, then it will turn into evil, right? But if you have knowledge and you have a lot of money, then that money will get used as a good tool for the world, right? So understand it like this, right? Back to the purpose. When I started living in my purpose, I started becoming my highest version. Because you have to look at it like this. My highest version already has money. My highest version has already did everything that he wants to do. So guess what? Now that my highest version motive is not money, my highest version motive is what? Purpose, right? That is his fulfillment. So that's why when you start living in your purpose, that's why money just starts coming to you, because now you're living in your highest version.
What's up, everyone? I'm Faison. You've seen the title, Money is Power. But only if you understand the rules on how to control it. Today, I'm breaking down the 16 laws of the power of money. A lot of people violate these rules without even knowing it. So, law number 1 is going to be money obeys discipline. Money flows to people who can control themselves. If you can't control spending, lust, impulses, or your ego, you will never control money. With that excerpt alone, that shit speaks volumes, bro. Like, as I said, I'm a older guy, but I'm still in my 20s. So it's just like me knowing what I know now and me and the actions that I committed when I was still in the younger adult phase till up until my older 20s now. It's just like you look at life differently. You look at money differently. You could honestly say, like, even going out for a shop, even though you have the money for it, you don't act off of impulse because it's right there. Sometimes delayed gratification is the best thing that ever happens to a person, especially for me, because it took me 28 years to know this information now. That's how I got what I got now and the knowledge that I have now. So it's just like, if I ever have kids, I could pass this knowledge on down to them. So it'll be like, so they could become like wealthy and stuff like that, because you see too many people saying, or social media saying, get it while it's hot, get it while it's ready. You know what I'm saying? Like hot and Caesar's, hot and ready. You know what I'm saying? Like if the opportunity presents itself, sometimes it's really best to not really act on it right then and there, because it's like you may have the money now, but what you gonna do when you become broke? And then you're gonna look at that last thing that you purchased out of impulse, and you be like, damn, because I've been there before. So it's just like, control your lust, control your impulses, control your spending, and your ego. Because just because I said your ego could be your biggest downfall. Everybody has an ego. At my grown ass age, bro, I don't have no ego. Some people don't always want to be right. Sometimes people just want to be heard, and not too many people could be honest about that shit. So it's just like, discipline your money, discipline your body, and discipline your mind, bro. Because at the end of the day, those are only 3 things that you got in this world. So that's law number 1. So on to the next one. Law number 2 is money is a tool, not a goal. Chasing money directly makes you sloppy. Using money to serve a purpose makes you powerful. Always remember that wealthy people focuses on skills, leverages, and systems, not quick cash. Again, I've been always preaching this to my younger people who I be around, and plus many people who don't know me, but that just wants to like tap into my mindset. I have a friend back at home. He graduated college in business, and he used to tell me certain stuff about like the business that he's doing, the business that he's learning, all on his own, while he has his own entertainment company, and while he's still in school, learning more knowledge and him passing on that knowledge to me, it makes you'll look at life differently. Because when you have money, if most people when they see a stack like this, they be like they can't wait to spend it, which is kind of honestly that's an impulse. We all have it, but it takes a special kind of person to really be like, no, I'm not going to do that. Instead, you could use your money to have an advantage. Like my friend always said, life is all about opportunities and advantages. And most people who you see today, right now, older and younger, they don't have too many advantages. They just know what they know, which is all right. At the same time, though, for those who really want to know more and they know like there's more to life than what they experiencing right now, they got to search out for that knowledge and buy some books or something. Why you think I keep, well, for those who don't know me well enough, I have a whole large book collection, not just to make it look clean or anything or make for the, what they call it, the aesthetic. Now, I really have like books for the gain knowledge and apply this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I could be ahead in the game, because me growing up, if you not ahead, you left behind. That's the motto where I'm from. So it's just like, and I hate feeling left behind. You know what I'm saying? So I always try to catch up on anything and everything that I feel like I'm left behind out. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to certain situations or topics, if I'm included in a situation or a discussion, I'm already well prepared for some knowledge that I could give to others and they could give me. You know what I'm saying? So we like they said, iron sharpen iron. Iron sharpen irons. Like a sword or a katana. Like whoever's a big ninja fan, I am. And this is like when you have discipline to understand and not have an ego when it comes to certain like topics, because you don't know something, while you're on your downtime, you could already be reading books to catch up on something that you don't know. And then you could have like what they call that on social media, dopamine. It gives you dopamine from learning certain stuff on your own. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to situations and topics and times to talk about certain things, you already well prepared and equipped with knowledge that you could spring out to the world. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, money is a tool, not a goal. All right. On law number 3 is going to be money follows value. So with that excerpt, it says, you don't get paid for effort. You get paid for usefulness. Hard workers stay broke, while problem solvers get rich. Let me explain that one. Since people don't know before I'm in the job that I'm in now, I've been living life from the job that I currently do now. So since people see at work that I'm great with videos and editing, and I got higher up seeing my stuff and stuff like that, and they be like, oh, okay. Sometimes they be asking me, can I help them out with their stuff? And it's be like, okay, cool. With that excerpt, it said, right, since they see that I'm useful for something, I'm a problem solver to help them get their situations right, whether it be videos. And plus, I worked on cars before. I went to trade school to work on cars. So imagine if I was a freelance mechanic. I will be a great problem solver for people who don't know how to operate on cars. And it may be something that you very good at that people don't come to you for. Or like if you're good at fixing bikes, whether it be like regular gear shifting bikes, like regular sports bikes, or anything. If you're good at mechanically fixing stuff, you a problem solver. While as hard workers, which like sad to say, like in today's age, most people look down on hard workers, and it's just like because they constantly making somebody else rich. And you see that every day and every way you turn. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to McDonald's workers. Shout out to Jubilee, the fast food chicken spot. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you open your third eye to certain stuff, bro, it's just like you see the stuff that people be complaining about and people be talking about, but on a subconscious level, they making somebody else rich, while they will have a skill. If they good at cooking chicken or making food, They can have their own food delivery services, and whoever's hungry or in a nearby area, whatever they good at making, they could already deploy what they got right there, right then and there when it's time to, lunchtime or dinner time. They can make themselves rich. That's just a prime example. So if you good at something, whether it be food, fixing stuff, working on computers, fixing PS5s, whatever the case may be, you're valuable because when the time comes for it. So yeah, money follows value. So yeah, make yourself useful. Learn a skill, learn a trade, because it may be a time and day where somebody may come to you for something, for help. Most people don't know this type of information, but me being blessed the mindset that I have now, and me be a older guy in his 20s, knowing about this stuff now before I hit uh in my older ages, say like 40, 50, 60 plus, you will know certain things. Like if you know you're great at something and you know like you see yourself making money or have a passion for something, man, chase that passion, bro. Chase that passion. So yeah, money follows value. So you better get a trade, or you better learn something, learn a skill or something, bro. Because there's plenty of opportunities out here to get rich on the real. All right, on to the next one. Law number 4, cash flow beats cash stacks. Consistent incomes beat one-time money. Find or create a skill that will generate you more money, or become an independent contractor, for example, DoorDasher, roofer, Uber driver, landscaper, mechanic, you name it. Like I said in the last law, like make yourself valuable to this world. And with cash flow, if you ever read the book Robert Kiyosaki with the quadrant cash flow, it talks about trading your time in for money, which is like a regular 9 to 5, right? All right, so boom. If you somehow want to trade that for like learning a skill, you will have a better outcome on making money for learning that skill and providing that skill to the world, whether than punching into a nine to 5 clock. You know what I'm saying? For example, like I said, I used to landscape. I'm really good with the lawnmower. I'm really good at the weed eater and many more like landscaping tools that my grandpa, rest in peace his soul, he taught me when I was like 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna give you a prime example. I used to be like 8, 9, 10. And me being like a small little jit adolescent that I was, I used to hear him cut the grass, right? And sometimes I used to be so curious about going outside just to see, but us jits back then, we used to be on the game, whoever owned a 360 or Xbox or PS2 or PlayStation. I used to be so like into the game a lot until my grandpa said, nah, he needs to learn this stuff. And then so one day, my granddad told me, nah, shut the game off. I'm about to teach you something. So boom, took me outside, learned how to cut the grass. As I matured, he saw that I was getting really good at the lawnmower. And so when I hit like 11, 12, I started using a weed eater. For those who don't know, it's the little long stick thing that makes a lot of noise, and it just treads the edges of your lawn, like getting the weeds out or many other things that will make your lawn ugly. And so me learning that skill, I already had an advantage over many people in the kids in the neighborhood who didn't know how to cut grass or many other things that I used to see them do. So it's just like, when it came a time, he helped me generate money. And for the stuff that, especially when it was new clothes or a new game, like he taught me God rest his soul, he taught me at an early age on how to quadruple my money, working for myself, being an independent contractor for myself at an early age. You don't find too many like kids like that nowadays. But if you do, you gotta congratulate them, because they on their way to become something. They got potential, bro. So it's just like me looking back on certain stuff in my life, bro. This is like, damn, I was really blessed to be in that type of situation. For him to teach me money at an early age and stuff like that, instead of punching in for a instead of punching in for a 9 to 5. As I said, I don't knock anybody clocking in for a 9 to 5, but for those who really want to get out of that 9 to 5 cycle, you really got to learn a skill or a trade or many other valuable assets that you could have in your portfolio to say like I'm valuable for something. I could charge with X amount of dollars for this because I provided value, and plus I'm a problem solver. I fixed the problem. Now the solution. Now I fixed the problem and I have a solution. Now I can come up with X amount of dollars that I charge for my services. And you know what? Since I did that, and as he passed on, like I said, may God rest his soul, bro. Like people used to come to me all the time, whether I get out of school, quick out of school or anything. And my grandma used to say like, hey, they need their yard cut. Go make that quick cash real quick. I'm on it. On it. So yeah, bro, like once you know the value of cash flow, you could be like, man, F a 9 to 5. I can make this within an hour or two. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, bro. Cash flow beats cash stacks. All right. Law number 5. Spend last and invest first. So it says the rich pay themselves before anyone else. Bills come last, investments and savings come first. I remember when I was in trade school, and this dude named Jaquan, Dreadhead, he had the same similar interests. He liked money, I like money. He liked working on cars, I like working on cars. So he was putting me on game to certain things, and he said like every time when I get paid, I take like half of that or 3/4 of that, and I give that to myself. I pay myself first. And so as he said that, I'm like, pay yourself first. But don't we already get paid out of that shit? We get paid for doing whatever we doing like that. And he was like, no, I'm gonna break it down. Say if you have your highest cap of your check is like 1,000, right? 3/4 of 1,000 is like what? 7,500. Not 7,500, like 750. So, cause it's like a pie. 25, 50, 75, 100. Your highest cap is 1,000. 3/4 of 1,000 is 750. I'm a math guru too. Like I'm great at numbers. When I was in school, like just know I'm great at numbers. So when he said that, okay, I was like, okay. So when the next paycheck rolled around, I did that. And now when around the time I'm still like what? 16, 17, like I'm in trade school, like my school that I was in, it was integrated. It integrated into a trade school too. So it had trade and regular classes to get my diploma and all that stuff. So yeah. But with that being said, I was working fast food and stuff. Like I said, as I punched the 9 to 5 too in high school. Like ain't no shame in that. It's nobody shaming nobody's game, bro, because this is life. We all living. We all trying to get something, accomplish something, and, achieve things that we want and buy things that we want. But I'm speaking from a teenager's perspective back then. So as he said that, I used to work at Hardee's. And when I first made my cap of $1,000 for a check, I used to work long hours for that shit in school. While I was in school, put it like that, and paid myself and gave the rest to my grandma for bills. And so with that being said, ever since I did that, I started like stacking. But life happens. Got to pay out of pocket for certain stuff, things of that nature. But I always had that advice in the back of my mind. Excuse me, still to this day. So yeah, bro, pay yourself first and save up for what you got. Pay yourself first, bro. That's all it is. Pay yourself first. So bills, you can always get to the bills, bro. But all I'm gonna say is whatever like cap that you make from your paycheck, make a wise decision and start really like calculating your own numbers to your own situation for saving and the bills, because everybody's financial situation is totally different. So don't try to like really like upkeep of what somebody else's lifestyle is doing. Like you gotta learn your own lane first before you can really advance. You know what I'm saying? To really do like I could do this, I could do that now. So yeah. All right. Law number 6 is going to be debt is a double-edged sword. So I wrote 2 sides to this, right? So side 1 is going to be bad debt. So with that excerpt, it says, most people don't notice, but debt can multiply you or enslave you. For example, bad debt, right, is financing jewelry, payday loans, high interest car loans, etc., right? So as it says before, like you have a debt, right? You're financing jewelry, trying to upkeep a lifestyle that you know you can't afford. Upkeep financing car loans that you know that you can't afford, stuff of that nature. High interest rates on anything that you purchase, whether it be from what's that place, Renter Center or some shit. Trying to finance a MacBook or Apple computer instead of just save your money and buying it outright. Like knowing it's not going to hinder you as renting these things to own, because that's how it works where I'm from. But I never dealt with Rent a Center. I used to hear a lot of horror stories from other people that worked with them to buy things and purchase things, you know. So written contract agreements and stuff like that. So the other side is good debt. Most people don't even know how. They be like, good debt? Ain't that bad out of the overall? No, it's not. And I'm going to tell you why. So with that being said, good debt is more common than what most people realize, right? For example, business loans used to generate profit, student loans for a high income skill, mortgages on a rental property that pays cash flow. As I said, if you read the book, Robert Kiyosaki book, right here, right? Say for example, like you're putting yourself in debt for to generate money, which is good debt, because as you're generating money, you're going to pay off the debt that you have, plus you're going to generate more money over top of what you paid off. So that's what they call good debt. But most people don't realize, like, you're like buying property or going to school. Prime example, going to school, right? As I said, I went to trade school, so I was blessed enough to go to trade school for free, because my school integrated into another school to have that. And so I hopped on it immediately because I knew the interest that I liked and the interest that other things that they had. But I just said to myself, like, I looked at myself as a business, right? If I'm going to school, and what type of like value or things will I generate if I go to this class? And it will be a lot. Or people go to school for like arts degree and stuff like that. How many people that you know, not saying it's bad or anything, shout out to people who works in the art field, whether it be movie directing or anything. Like certain people like can really generate money off pottery and stuff like that, but some people don't. So it's just like, if you go to school, you are already putting yourself in debt because you got a loan to pay. You're gonna pay off that student loan one way or another, whether it be from the job or you gonna have to pay that off doing something else. Like, that's just what it is. In the world that we live in today, it's a lot of that happen. Most people don't get the job. Most people out here now are not getting the jobs that they went to school for, which is kind of sad, but that's for another topic. That's for another day. So if you're going to school and you putting yourself in debt, make sure it's going to be a skill that you could use after you get out, as soon as you graduate. So that's considered good debt. because you generating money from the skill that you put yourself in debt in for to make that money. You see what I'm saying? So that's just for an example. Most people don't know that. That's why I'm here to tell you. So yeah, but on to law number 7. It says, money hates emotions. Emotional decisions destroy wealth. Impulse buying, panic selling, flex spending, etc. Feelings make you poor, logic make you rich. So with that statement, alone, honestly, bro, we all human, we all have emotions. At the same time, if you train your mind and you discipline enough not to react and buy everything that you see window shopping, you will save $1 much faster than letting it go in somebody else's hands for a product that's going to lose value over time, or right then and there, or if you're buying a car right off the lot as soon as you pull it off. You see what I'm saying? I remember for panic selling, I ran through like what 4 PS4s when I was living on my own. As I paid off my debt to pay rent, right? I used to keep rebuying the game because what sense does it make to come home bored to nothing except just, smoking without no type of entertainment? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just talking about from way back then. So yeah, but panic selling, I used to panic sell a lot, but I always knew like if I keep this long enough, like a stock, literally like a stock. If you keep this long enough, it's going to generate value over time. And luckily enough, around that time, PS4s was still in demand. So I used to sell them things for a cheap price for the game rent money. And I had some J's that I barely even wore, the 12s, the Taxi 12s. When the time came for the pay rent, right, and I didn't have it, I always had something of value to really gain money from. So that's what I call panic selling and stuff like that. So yeah, as I'm doing that stuff, like my emotions got into it. So it's just like, how you feel guilty or be like, damn, like I should have did X, Y, Z. But you learn over time, like whatever you have of value and plus you have money, don't burn it all the time, because panic selling, and if you have something of value, 9.5 times out of 10, you're going to end up selling it for real. So yeah, money hates emotion. So keep that always in mind. And my last one, law number 8 for part 1, is going to be real money doesn't announce itself. The loudest flex is usually the brokest. So as I always said, like real money is what you don't see, like hidden assets. As I showed you this before, this is nothing. It's more this where this came from. The fact that I knew I have knowledge about all this stuff, it's just like, I could honestly say, bro, give me like 5 years, I'll be rich as hell. Give me like a good 5 years, I'll be really rich as hell from the knowledge that I learned. And I'm keep on learning. So it's just like, when you see people in rap videos or any other source that's doing a lot of buffoonery, flexing money and stuff, like, and it's crazy because I used to be around those type of people back then when I was in my younger, like teenage years, going into my early 20s coming up. Like, it used to be like, damn, and it sparks emotion, as the last topic says. It sparks some type of emotion over you to be like, damn, that's gonna be me one day. But when you really sit back and realize, like, the wealthy don't even show all their assets. So it's just like, you see what I'm saying? Imagine the stuff that they show you is cool, but it's always that imagination of what they don't show you. It's the real powerful move. You see what I'm saying? Or the real powerful stuff that they have hidden in their closet. You know what I'm saying? So I remember, prime example, I was at the car wash the other day. White guy, black guy, white guy and a black guy, dressed regular as hell. You would think that they just came straight out of college the way how they dress. Like, and they like in their early 30s. So it's just like, I'm just seeing them. I'm cleaning my car out, but I'm peeping. It's a Rolls Royce and a Porsche. They parked right next beside each other. So I'm just still like, I'm cleaning, but I'm acting like I'm minding my business, cleaning and stuff like that. But I'm still like ear peeping, and I'm eye peeping too, like on the side, like who cars are those? Like, so boom, they get to their cars. Black man got the Rolls Royce, and white man got the Porsche. I'm like, oh shit, like, damn, they really got it, like. But they dressed regular as hell. White guy had on some plaid shorts with some Adidas and a white T-top. Black man, he wore a suit. I don't know how much the suit cost, but I just know it looked nice on him. So it's just like, until you see what he drove, I was like, damn, like, shit, I wonder what he did to get that. Like, what moves did he put in place for to get those? Like, so it kind of inspired me to be like, okay. And plus, the knowledge is true. Most people who you see that's flexing hard, dressing like they got it like that, is really going to be broke sooner or later, because they're trying to live a lifestyle and of upkeep of what they know they can't afford. So, yeah, man, like, real money doesn't announce itself, bro. And the loudest people who be flexing, bro, acting like they got it, really be the brokest. And that's always been the law. But thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys for part 2. Later, guys.